Hello, Internet.
Hey JD, what's going on?
Not much.
So one of our favorite games to play together is
FTL.
We love FTL because one of the best parts about it is we get to unlock ships, but it's a cool strategy game where you and I play. And it has some really cool ships that it gives you when you first start out. But JD, you discovered something cool. And what is that?
I discovered this editor, and you can pretty much turn anything you want into a ship. So you could get a picture of a cat head and turn it into a spaceship.
So you're saying we can mod the game and make our own custom ships?
Without being confused to death.
And we thought, let's give this a try, right?
Yeah.
And what ship do you want to try to put into... Look at that, I got a lucky break right off the bat. What ship do you want to try to put in FTL?
We are going to try to create the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars.
Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to save and quit, and we'll drop out and do that. Okay, so we're on our desktop now, and there's a couple different programs that we had to download in order to make this happen. The first thing we had to download was the Slipstream Mod Manager. We found that on the FTL forums, right?
Yeah. You need, but to run the editor, you need the Slipstream Mod Manager, and you also need Java 1.6.
Yeah, and that's it. We'll put links to all these programs in the description, but what we're going to do is we're going to make Millennium Falcon, and this program is called Super Luminal, and this is currently version 2.0.3a beta that we're working on. This is the second editor that's been made for FTL.
It's made for the Advanced Edition.
All right, so we're going to make a player-controlled ship, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go overpowered.
And I'm going to get a little bigger here so we can actually see what we're working on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to make a thing. First thing we need to do is get an image.
We need to select our hull. So basically, you would take a ship, for example, our picture of the Millennium Falcon. As you notice, the one on the right is different than the one on the left. The one on the left is photoshopped. We cut out the black and we rotated it 180 degrees. So it's actually facing the right way.
That was our original image right there, courtesy of Lucasfilm, used without permission. And then this was our modified version where we cut it out and we saved it as a PNG file.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you may have noticed, all ships in FTL point to the right, so it would be weird if the Millennium Falcon was pointing to the left.
And what's this image here?
This is our shield image. All ships in the game, or most ships in the game, have shields, which essentially block shots. And the Millennium Falcon does have shields. As you can see in some movies, when it gets shot, it like flashes white for a second, which I would think it indicates it has shields.
And so the shield graphic we have to make separately. There's other stuff that you can make as well. There's an opportunity to add images for the floor to better integrate the floor plan, a cloaking graphic as well, so it like fades out in its outline.
Yeah, there's cloak systems in FTL.
And there's also the ability to make the gib items, which are the things that break apart if your ship is destroyed.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that, though. We're going to do a more simplified version. We're going to line up our images here so our shield matches our ship. We just increase the size of it and then paint it over it in blue.
We should probably move it up a little bit so it's like...
Good point. Why are we going to do that?
Because the rooms, each part of the room takes up a square, but we want to try to get it as even as possible. Like with the cockpit, we want to have a 1x2 cockpit right there for the pilot.
Yeah, and so we're going to do that, and then we're going to move the shield up to match.
But we can't have it like the room bits like just floating off of the ship, because that would just look weird.
No room bits floating.
Yeah, this ship isn't exactly the best for lining up with squares. We kind of had some problems with that.
The Millennium Falcon plays by its own rules, is what JD is saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what should be our next step?
Okay, our next step is to actually build the rooms.
Okay, so we click on here, and then we go to the room creation tool.
Yeah.
And first thing we probably need is an engine room.
Yes.
And that should be usually right about here.
That should be 2x4.
2x4 or 2x2?
Oh, sorry, 2x2.
Yeah. So we do that, and then we want to have off that, let's have, like, say, oxygen.
Yep.
We definitely know we want a cockpit here, like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll give us our cockpit there. And then we probably want to have a weapons room right about here, right?
Yep, that's where the gun is.
What do you think would be over here?
I would assume that would be sensors.
Okay.
But I think they did say in one movie that was a shield generator.
That dish is?
Yeah.
All right, we'll put the shields right next to it then, just to be safe.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have, we need a doors room. We need oxygen.
Yeah.
Why don't we put oxygen between the...
I thought we were putting oxygen right next to the engine room.
Okay, so then maybe we'll put sensors, not sensors right here. We'll put doors right here. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm just clicking on here and then just dragging the tools, and we'll add some doors here in a second. All right, let's add some other rooms just to have some more rooms, right?
Yeah, let's just add a bunch of 2x4.
How about like that?
Okay.
And then a 2x2.
Let's put one like above that, next to the sensor and shield, to the left.
Next to the sensor and shield here?
Yeah.
You want 1x1 here? Like
2x2 because
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a room that's in that general spot in the New Hope.
And we'll make this easier on ourselves here in a couple seconds. Now I'm adding in doors here. And we'll go through and add some airlocks so that, you can flush all the oxygen out of your ship if you need
and
to.
the enemy team.
Yeah, get them out of there. And then, that's good. And then we obviously need something connecting our cockpit here. So let's do this. And we'll add another set of doors here.
Is there a way we can remove that wall and make that a 2x2 room?
Yeah, sure. So I can go back to my selection tool.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I can go
we
back
can
and delete some doors.
And shrink the room and then resize it.
I don't know how to get rid of a room, though, honestly.
Oh, it's
there
fine.
There it goes. There we go. And then I'm using the selection tool here to resize my rooms by grabbing the corners and just stretching them out.
Yep.
So now that's a 2x2 room. And then I go back here and I'm going to add my doors back in. All right. And let's start labeling rooms. We're going to skip ahead a couple steps just so we see what we have and don't have. How about that, JD?
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to replace the player ship hard. Here's a list of all the ships in the game. This is under the gear, which I assume is the settings function here. But it's ship loadout and properties. So here's every ship in the game. The player ship hard, that's the Kestrel. So we're going to replace the Kestrel main ship, basically the class A essentially.
Yeah.
So this is going to be our Corellian freighter. Do you want to write me some fiction for our Corellian freighter that ended up in FTL?
Okay. This ship is estimated. I mean, is not estimated. Assumed.
Assumed?
Yep. To have come from a galaxy far, far away.
Come from a galaxy far, far away.
It was found drifting near a space container.
We'll say this. How about this mysterious junky freighter? How about that?
Okay.
Since
You wrote Junie.
Oh, thanks. Since the Millennium Falcon is kind of a hunk of junk. So Han Solo is from Corellia, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's add some hull health. We'll put 30 because that's the standard.
Yeah.
And then this is our starting reactor power. If you ever run into problems in this app, you can just hover over these question marks and it'll tell you. Like this says, this sets the amount of power the ship starts with. The reactor can only be upgraded to level 25 in game, but you can set to a higher value when creating your ship in this editor. So we're going to start ours. We think it'd be fun to start with less power for the Millennium Falcon so that you kind of have to like rearrange stuff yourself.
Yeah.
Because the Millennium Falcon, they're always kind of working on it and always kind of, modifying it on the fly. So we're going to give it a little bit less power to start with, so you have that feeling of having to turn stuff off to turn other things back on. Okay, and then let's go through and set up some of our crew. We're going to have...
Let's have...
a human.
Should we have 3 humans or 2 humans, a NG, and a Rockman?
Why don't we'll do a human and a rock, because a rock is the closest thing to Chewbacca, right?
Yeah, he's like a big, strong guy. Pretty much the only difference between a rock and a Wookiee is that rocks are made out of rocks and speak English.
Wookiees made out of hair.
Yeah.
And what do they speak?
They speak dog.
Do you know the planet that Wookiees come from?
Kashyyyk.
Got it? Wow, look at you.
And their
All the
language
knowledge.
is called Shywook.
I'm going to put another human on here just to say that is...
Luke, Han Solo.
I'll say Lando Calrissian. And then
Okay.
who's the little dude? We'll make a Zoltan for him. How about that?
Wait, what?
Or an NG. We'll make an NG. There's a little dude who's in Empire Strikes Back who flies the ship with Lando, so we'll make that him.
Oh, is it that fat guy with the weird cheek flap thing?
Yeah, he's got a little thing. He's a little short, fat guy. So
Yeah.
Okay, so we got our shield graphic in. We got our crew set up. Artillery is not implemented yet. Armaments. We haven't done any weapon mounts yet, so let's wait on that.
Yeah.
And let's save, because this has a problem where it doesn't always like to save properly, or it crashes quite a bit. So whenever you change something, everyone recommends that you save as often as possible. And also, why don't you point out who was the person who we watched a tutorial who taught us how to do this?
His name is Vanguard of Valor.
Uh-huh.
We'll put a link to his channel in the description.
So if there's anything that we're not covering in this tutorial, or like something we skipped over unintentionally, you can always go load up that video and watch it as well. Okay, so we're going to make a Falcon, Millennium Falcon FTL. We're going to save it. Hopefully that'll work like a charm. And we're good. Okay, so we save that as a resource file. That's what we're going to work with as we go along here. Okay, so where is the place where I set up what's in my rooms?
You select a room and then you like right click.
Select the room. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the selection tool, and I'm gonna select. This is gonna be first of all right clicking and assign this as our engine room, and this will take care of a lot of it for us because you'll see here as I go to assign this system, engines are already taken. So this is gonna be our oxygen room, right?
Yep.
Okay, we said this was gonna be our weapons room. Weapons. Yeah. This was gonna be shields.
Yep. And then the one above it was gonna be sensors.
Got it. Okay.
Now, for those of you that don't play FTL but are watching this video, I'll briefly explain what most of these systems are. Engines, obviously, they let you go to other sectors, but they also help you evade bullets or laser beams from the enemy. Doors let you control doors remotely, so you could open an airlock, but if those are destroyed, then you can't open them. But if they're upgraded, you can make blast doors that boarders have to destroy. And shields, they protect your ship. And sensors, they let you see inside your ship, and they let you see the enemy ship if they're upgraded.
One thing I want to point out here is that I'm setting a drone bay here as well, but I'm unchecking available at start. That's something you'd have to buy at a store or get from some event in the game now.
Yeah.
But that means this ship can have that.
Yeah.
If we leave it off, that means the ship can't even have it.
Yep.
Like if we determined that we would leave off teleporters, because that's just too Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me put in hacking. That seems like a good one for these guys.
If we were making the Enterprise, we would add teleporters, but we don't. We're not making the Enterprise.
Come on, we're not doing that. Okay, so let's see what we have.
Is kind of funny over there.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Yeah, looks like it should be a horizontal room. All right, let me see here. What else we have left? So we want mind control and cloaking in here.
Yeah, let's add mind control and let's add cloaking. Let's not add like any.
And we'll uncheck available at start. Another thing too is that I want to show here is that for shields especially, it's important. You want to like make sure you check your starting level of how many power slots you're gonna have at start. So typically ships start with 2. There's a weird thing in FTL where if you start with 1, the first one to buy costs 100, which is
100 scrap.
Yeah, it's 100 scrap. That's a lot for the first one. So.
Yep, and then it goes like to 40. I guess it says weak system. Well, let's give the engine a lot of engine power because they say that Millennium Falcon is really fast.
It's one of the fastest ships in the galaxy.
Made the Crystal run in what is
12
it?
parsecs.
Yeah, 12 parsecs.
All right, let's go up here. I'm gonna delete this room altogether.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll be. I'm curious if that will free up our sensor array now too. So I'll just put that sideways there. I'll draw a sideways room. We don't yet know. There might be a way to rotate some of these like assignment stations. We don't know how to do it. These little pink areas.
We got this program today.
Yeah, these little pink areas. That's where the actual player will go and man that station.
With the exception of the med bay, if you notice how one full square is purple, that means that nobody can stand on that. But if it's just half, like on those computer screens, that means that's how they actually use it. Because if they don't have it, they'll just kind of stand there and sit and look at the screen.
I wonder if we can even use the door there, so I doubt we can. But I'll go ahead and reassign this. Let's see if it freed up our sensor array when we did that. Yes, it did. We get that at start. We're looking good. Okay, so while we're talking about the Millennium Falcon being a fast ship, we can also go through and add some augments that the ship starts with. And so why don't we start with an FTL booster.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we'll have a
advanced FTL navigation.
Yeah, because the Millennium Falcon, the one thing it does well is jump into light speed when it works. All right. Yeah. There we go. Okay, well, so we'll give it that.
Can we set how many augments there are? Because we should have it so you can only have 2.
Oh. No, I don't know if we can take it. I don't know if we think we take away an augment.
Maybe we can like.
Maybe set it to like unusable. No augment. No, that's already there.
Nope, never mind. I guess not.
Maybe not. But the and then let's give it 2 drone slots because while the
that's how many parts they start.
Starting drone part. We're gonna give 2 drone slots, but start with no drones. Even though we feel like the Millennium Falcon does have a drone because Luke Skywalker does his little lightsaber practice with essentially would be a combat drone.
Yeah, but they didn't use it against a TIE fighter.
That is true. That would not be very effective in space. Okay, so we've made all this stuff. We've painted our rooms. We've made sure we've got doors everywhere.
We could go crazy and go and like actually create a drone, but we don't have a program. We'd have to go in the. Does FTL use Lua files or Lua code?
And in that guy's, what's his name again?
Vanguard of Valor.
Vanguard of Valor. In his video, he actually goes through and makes custom sounds, custom weapons, but this will just basically get you started for, getting a ship and getting it in the game. Or if you're feeling a little bit more devious, you can actually just modify ships that already exist in the game and load them up with lots of stuff. Okay, and so the last thing I think we want to do here...
Before we finish, I think we should add one extra room under the door control and make that a not a sensor, a cloaking.
Where do you want this? Under here?
Yeah.
Okay, and cloaking you think is a 1?
No, it's a 2x2.
It's a 2x2?
Yeah.
Okay, let me...
I think I can take a 1x2 though. But I think we should, just to fill in space, have a 2x2.
Okay, I'll select it and I'll make it bigger. There we go. And then I will right click it and I will assign it cloaking. We'll see what that looks like. Okay, and we don't want to start with that. So go ahead and put a door from hacking that leads into there. And bam, we're good. I say we should also make some airlocks.
Yep. Should we try to get a hallway extending to those? Actually, I think those are escape pods right there.
That'll be a good place for an airlock. I think put another place for an airlock would be up here. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Okay, and so we'll put little doors on here. Bam, bam.
I just realized you could actually make a fleet with this editor. Just add pictures of other ships in the background.
I'm just checking my door placement. Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure you could write some kind of line of code that would always give you the ASB ally effect, which is essentially where it would be like on a planet, a cannon is just shooting at the enemy ship for you. And if you get caught by the rebel fleet, which is essentially the bad guys in this game, which is kind of weird because
what we're building.
Yeah, the rebels are the good guys in Star Wars.
It's all relative.
Yeah, but anyway, if you get caught by the rebel fleet, the cruisers in the background will be shooting these bullets at you while you have to fight this really powerful ship.
It's like an environmental effect, basically.
So yeah, but there's also a random event where occasionally you can either activate this planetary cannon or it'll just already be there and it'll just shoot the enemy ship for you. So it would make sense if you had ships that were shooting at the enemy ship.
Okay, so we made 4 weapon slots. And so we're going to go through here and say there's weapons. And we're going to give this thing 4 total weapon slots because we have it. And we know the weapons for the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars should actually be on top of it and below it. But we're going to just give it basically 1 quad gun by giving it 2 burst laser 2s. Where's my burst laser?
Yeah, you can't put it under the ship. And we could put it on top, but it would be just floating inside the room and I don't think they get hidden from the room. I think they'll just be sitting there. And the arrows on them are the direction that they extend out. When we engage them, they'll go forward.
Right, and you can tell when you get hit with an ion beam, when they're deactivated, they'll go back into the ship.
They'll retract. I think we should move the weapons back a little bit because then they'll just kind of be floating.
You think so? Okay,
yeah.
Let's put them back like this. Okay, so we looking good?
Yeah, we put crew down, right?
Yeah, we got some crew. Let's go through and double check some of our settings.
What's our starting weapon power?
That's a good question.
We should start with 2.
Let me see here. So I go weapon here. So yeah, we're starting at level 1. So let me go take that up to 2, and those require that each. Okay, yeah, that'll work.
I think we should add an airlock at the med bay.
Okay, and then let's go through and check some of our systems here. So that starts at level 3. That starts at level 1. Oxygen. Medbay starts at level 1. That's fine. Shields start at 2. That's good because it'll let us have a shield. Everything else seems pretty good. And the pink ones mean they don't start. You don't start with those things. You have to add them. So we're leaving off the table, JD. We're leaving off the ability to add a clone bay. We're leaving off the ability to add a battery. We're leaving off teleporter, and then artillery doesn't count for this.
Yeah, artillery is only used by 1 ship in the game, and that's the final boss flagship, which is
it's individual command centers for their own weapons.
Yeah.
Individual.
You think any other boss in any other game is hard to fight the flagship on FTL?
Rough. It's rough. Okay, where would you like this airlock?
Let's just put it on top of the med bay right there. Actually, no, that's good right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay, I misunderstood you, but that seems like a good location for it too. And there and there. How about that?
Yep.
Okay, that's a ship that can really lose a lot of air fast. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Now that we have our ship, we think all settled. We're gonna go to File, and we're gonna save the ship
as an FTL file.
FTL file right here, and then we're gonna save it to our desktop. This is a temporary location. So Millennium Falcon FTL. We're gonna save it and confirm it. Okay, so theoretically we're done here. I'm gonna minimize this, and then we're gonna jump over here. Minimize this. This is just the little window that runs in the background. All right, I have to restart this program because I have to add to this mods folder. This is our mod manager. This is Slipstream Mod Manager. You just install this. You'll have to tell it where your FTL data directory is, and once you do that, it's just under Steam, Steam Apps, FTL, or excuse me, Common, FTL, and then there's a data.dat file. It'll walk you through how to do that, tell you what it's looking for, and then you just have to find that. Then you can click Open Mods, add your Falcon or your ship FTL file that you exported from the editor, put that in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up right away. And then there's nothing I found that where it'll make it like extract that. Oh, here, rescan mods. There it is right there. Bam. Okay, so now we didn't even need to restart it.
Learn something new every video.
Every day. And this thing is actually a really, of all the mod managers I've worked with before, this one, we're pretty happy with it. This is way easier than Minecraft because it'll actually save the vanilla version of your FTL data file, and then you just uncheck all your mods and hit patch, and it'll just restore it to vanilla. But we're going to check Millennium Falcon. We're going to patch it. Let's actually validate and see if it works. Okay, it says no problems. So let's patch it.
So the one thing we didn't do was we didn't add gibs. This is basically when we get shot and we explode, the ship loses health, it'll explode and break into parts. And
it's a little animation of it destroying itself.
Yeah, but we're so good at this game, we don't die.
Is that the way it's going to work? Okay, let's test. How you feeling about this? You think it's going to work?
Yep.
We'll click New Game. We replaced the Kestrel ship, so we'll see it right away if it's there. Yes. Bam! There's our Millennium Falcon. Awesome. Yep. Okay. Look, we have, let's change some names here. Oh, actually, there's Lando. That's appropriate skin color.
Oh, yeah.
Chewie.
No, it's Craigie.
Should we say Chewie or Chewbacca? Was it Chewie? And then here's Han.
Han Solo.
You want to say Han Solo?
Yep.
And then here's the assistant who we learned his name is Nien Numb.
I think we should name him C-3PO.
Why? Really? Okay.
Well, he's a robot.
You think NGs are robots? Is that how you see them? I see them as like tech, like really tech things. I mean, you know the lore way better than I do.
Well, I see them as more organic robots, but I think they're more mechanical than anything.
There's our ship in FTL. And look, and Han can go up here and pilot the ship. You know, kick Lando out of there.
I beat you at that. He won that gambling match fair and square.
Yeah, and Chewie's back there running the engines. He could come up here and help co-pilot with Han. But let's jump. Let's do a little battle here. Let's see if we can get our Millennium Falcon stress tested. Uh-oh, asteroid belt. Where's the giant worm when you need it? Okay, shields are working. All right, sure enough, we got to start turning off stuff in order to fight.
You should pause that to auto fire.
Thank you. JD's a great guy. You're my Chewie, JD.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, look at that. This guy doesn't stand a chance. We got hacked though.
Yeah, auto drones kind of stink.
So you can see our shield animation working there. Actually, it's, you know, the game wants it to be a sphere, but we just feel it looks better like if it's actually around the ship itself.
Yeah, in Star Wars, it's just kind of outlined as a ship, so.
So cool. High five up top. We just modified FTL. We have our own ship in FTL now.
Yay.
So you can make whatever kind of ship you want. And if once again, shout out to Vanguard of Valor.
Yep.
And he was the guy who showed us how to do this. Ours is definitely a more simplified version. He gets really in depth and does some really cool stuff. He makes a Star Fox R-type ship, and actually makes custom weapons and custom sounds with it. You should definitely check it out, and we'll put a link to his video in the comments and description as well. Any last comments, JD?
No.
Thanks for showing me this. This is really cool. All right, well, that's it. Maybe next time, you know, on Game Kids, we'll play some FTL, or maybe we'll try something cool again.
Bye.